Hope will arise out of the ashes of our past broken relationships, fractured families, and personal struggles. Come walk a mile with me as we allow Jesus to clean out the mess and organize the rest. Welcome to the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I am your host, Maria Wingard. Grab your shoes, lace them up as we start strolling through this week's episode. Continuing with Offendable Me, this is the Boulder. Trapped between a rock and a hard place, I stare at the offending boulder holding me captive. Radical acceptance is a gift during moments like this when you realize you are vastly unprepared for the task ahead. Day 5 of no food or water with delirium grants the grace to accept reality while embracing radical facts offering possible survival. Similar to Aaron, the hiker entombed in the wilderness of Blue John Canyon due to a boulder falling and trapping him, is the feeling we get when someone drops boulders of offense onto us. For getting hit by a boulder is no joke. Life gets complicated and options become virtually non-existent. I frantically assess the boulder holding my arm captive. I rage, I fight, I negotiate. I plead and I rationalize. Then I resort to pointless chipping away at the rock with my minuscule doll pocket knife. For time grants the space to contemplate peace only radical acceptance delivers. The arm must go in order to have a slim possibility of survival. So many times we rage against what has been done to us unfairly. We plead and negotiate, rationalize futilely. Offense has made their heart into stone, impenetrable. We are trapped between what was done and the wall that they've put up. I breathe deep to steady myself with firm resolve. I will live without my arm for the possibility of escape rather than the certainty of dying here. I want out at any cost. The parable of the prodigal guides me. One son was so offended and angry with his father that he actually told him, "I view you as dead to me, and I want my inheritance now as if you had already died. I want nothing to do with you ever again. I'm out of here." We rarely look at this story from the emotional viewpoint of the father. He received bone-crushing news in those words. I'm sure that there were many conversations that were attempted before he finally reached radical acceptance that his son disliked him to the point of wanting him out of his life and dead. I can hear the prodigal father through pain-filled tears. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. If you want to go, then just go, knowing the son wanted to leave. This dad had a choice: to continue to live miserably trapped in the vice of offense or pay a very high price for freedom from continued pain. Letting go will often cost you dearly in a pound of flesh. For those who have not been there, this is rock bottom. Plunging my dull knife into my arm finds my rotting dead flesh surprisingly offers very little resistance. Their offense had already taken the life's blood from my limb without my noticing. With violent force, angry at the injustice, I break my own bones one by one to grant separation with the final snap. Painfully, I gain ground, separating myself from the isolating wilderness, hoping for freedom. Helpers wrap arms around, guiding me towards doctors and surgeries. You see, recovery and life without an arm is possible. Living trapped in the wilderness with a rotting limb is not. Life will drop boulders on us, and many times that happens through breaks in relationships. Often they intentionally send the rock bouncing down the cliffside, aimed right for us. Quote, "At some point you have to stop trying to rebuild bonds you didn't break." End quote. So, how do we survive this? Without Jesus, you become bitter, choosing offense, poisoning everything around you. Their offense may kill your arm, but you don't have to let it take your life. To cut away what was done with forgiveness is excruciating. Honestly, it will feel like plunging a dull knife into your flesh. However, once you make that decision, you will find it's really not as painful as you anticipated. You actually discover the decision was the hardest part. Quote, "The detachment had already happened in my mind. It's rubbish. It's going to kill you. Get rid of it, Aaron. It's an it. It's no longer my arm." As I picked up the knife, I was cool and collected. Aaron Ralston, trapped hiker. The choice to forgive is the detachment. You don't have to feel it. Forgiveness sets you free from the boulder that hit you. The rock was real. Not everyone who hurts you cares. The hurt, pain, agony, completely legitimate. Forgiveness does not mean granting access. Closing the door or grace for reconciliation is situational. Forgiveness grants you the opportunity to walk out of the isolation and the torment that instant replay of memories keeps you trapped in. These do not go away without Jesus' intervention. Most times, he uses the hands of doctors and helpers willing to offer their assistance. Extending forgiveness is for yourself, granting you a stronger, more resilient prosthetic arm. The truth is, healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls you. I am grateful you decided to walk a mile with me, your host, Maria Wingard, on the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I pray that through our conversation, Jesus reveals how he is bridging broken to breakthrough as we stroll through another mile in this journey called life. Hope will arise if you let him in your life today. To listen to past episodes or find out more, please visit hopewillarise.com.